Are we on air? Okay, thanks. So let's get started. My name is Josef Platil. I'm product owner of PIM and BIM at Wienerberger. Now, who am I? So let me introduce myself first. So I'm Josef Platil. I studied informatics at the University of Life Sciences and information management at the University of Economics in Prague. I built a single source of truth for Deutsche Börse, for investment funds, and then I joined Wienerberger with one mission, and which is to digitalize what can be digitalized in my area, which is building single source of truth. I believe as a person is that standards should be publicly accessible just as laws are. The main reason for that is that in product information management you rely on standards and you really need to know the standards to be able to save the data correctly. So I believe the same way as we need to adhere to laws, we have to adhere also to standards. And if we want to use standards, they have to be made available. Let's take a look at what we have here. So we have PIM, we have BIM, and we have digital built environment. So what is PIM? PIM is something what Pimcore is good at. It's product information management. Either a process of product information management, or it's an information system like Pimcore that you install, or product information management is a branch of information management. Then we have BIM. BIM, as per definition, is building information modeling. But what it actually is the use of digital data to model and to maintain the model, to maintain the information exchange around the model between different stakeholders. So BIM is basically a building information management, which is a process of information management in the digital built environment to ensure that the data, correct data, is exchanged to correct people at the right time. And all this information exchange is efficient and collaborative. And you may be wondering why you, as people responsible for BIM, should be focusing on BIM. So, as I mentioned, Wienerberger is a manufacturer, so we as manufacturers have our BIM inside digital built environment in which we as manufacturers are providing data to other people so that they can use our data to model, to do facility management, etc. So digital built environment here is the environment in which you have the people, the companies, the processes, devices, the Internet of Things, everything. So if you know what built environment is, digital built environment is just built environment running on IT. But as you know, IT is a bit complicated to grasp for non-IT people. So let's focus on how we combine what we do at Wienerberger with what you can do in your company, even though you may not be a manufacturer of building elements. So Wienerberger, who we are. Because Wienerberger is based in Vienna, it's an international company. We produce bricks, facing bricks, also pipes. So I don't really know if you know our brand. So let's just take a look at who we are. So you may know Porotherm, Terka, Koramic, Tonda, Semmelrock, Steinzeug Keramo, or Pipelife. We have approximately between 16 and 17,000 employees, and we are operating in 29 countries, meaning that if you look from the perspective of, first of all, products that we offer, products that we manufacture, trading goods that we resell, people that have to be trained to understand our products, systems that contain all our products together. In our SAP, we have around 600,000 SKUs, materials. You may be surprised that we already exist for more than 200 years. 8 years later from the foundation date, it's really a sophisticated application landscape with a lot of products. And since our merchant acquisition is really top-notch, we keep expanding our portfolio every year by more and more companies, and we need to onboard them to our PIM system. We need to get their PIM system, our PIM system, do a gap analysis, connect it, copy data, and tune it up so that everything has the same customer experience. So then, products. This is about product information management. So I would really like to talk about the infrastructure solutions, in-house solutions, solutions for the building envelope and pavers. Meaning that I want to talk about pipes, I want to talk about cables, I want to talk about pavers and facing bricks and bricks. Bricks you know from your home, but bricks you don't see because they are inside your walls. So, but you know our brands, right? You know Pipelife, pipes. You know Wienerberger, roof tiles, clay blocks. So let's look at the brands you probably know that we have in our PIM system, which is operated by Pimcore. So, we have Poroter, Margeton, Corium, Penter, Coramic, Tonrak, Terka, Sandov, Kramer. Lot of brands. So then, as I mentioned, we are in 29 countries, including United States. We have also a brick factory in India from 2009. And you can see that we are evenly spread across Europe. Then, as I mentioned, we do pipes, we do bricks, we manufacture a lot of things. So, and all this has to be produced, has to be used. And then you can see we have product ranges. So if you look into our PIM, you will see that our products are in product groups, meaning that bricks are under wall, facade, bricks are under facade, roof tiles are under roof product group, and plastic pipes have a lot of variety of pipes, so we will get to that later. But if you look, the basic is to have product groups so that you limit the number of properties you need to maintain for all the products. You know brick, right? Everyone knows it. This is what brick looks like. It has a brick color, which is called a brick color. And this is how it was produced in the past. This is how it is produced also in present. In some countries, it's like the basic brick you can get. Yeah? It's history. For us, 200 years back, this was the way how the bricks were produced. Also, then, a couple of decades later, these kind of bricks were used in Vienna for the Ringstrasse. You can see all those nicely built buildings from that era. They are using bricks that are from Wienerberger. You know these bricks. You have to actually go to the physical studio to feel it, to look at it, to see how it reflects in light. There are properties that cannot be simply put into our PIM system, which is the actual physical look and feel when you hold the brick in your hand and you are capturing the product information that cannot be stored in our PIM system, which is the actual human interaction with the material. This is what we cannot store in Pimcore. We have a lot of different kinds of bricks. Take a look at this sample here. Yeah? That in order to sell these kind of bricks, you also need to have digital assets that are showing what you can actually do with it. Or you can do this. Yeah? You can do a lot of things. This is just one example. Or you can do this. It's the same product, but just because you use it differently, it has different look and feel. Or you can do this with it. Or that. You can play with the facade in a way that was hard in the past, but because of the new construction materials, it is possible, such as very thin layer of mortar that you can put as a filler between our bricks. Or what you can play with is the color of mortar so that it looks different when you use this kind of facing brick or that kind of facing brick, or using the same facing brick but with light or dark mortar. Or you can use a special treatment to the finished product that it looks different. But for me, these two are different products. Yeah? Because one is a combination of a brick and a mortar that is dark. And on the right, there is a little patina there. So why not just leave it like this and move on to the next slide? So now let's imagine you are walking through the city and you are designing your perfect house. And you somehow got attracted to this kind of building. But not only because of the space and the garage and the garden, but also because of the facing bricks. And you say, I want this kind of white facing brick for me. So what do? You know that it's a Wienerberger because you ask the guy, hey, where did you buy it? And he said, hey, I bought it at Wienerberger. Just try it. So you go to the website. This is our live website. So you go to the website and you say, I want to have this white facing brick. Which can I choose? Ooh, it's probably one of these, right? Or these? I have no idea. Maybe it's, oh yeah, it's probably this Imperium Albeus HV Romains form. So let's go there. What do we have here? We have name, we have digital asset, which is the image, we have some technical sheets, we have some DOP generator, we know that it's Terca, we know some product details, okay, I think that I will go for this one, right? This is what I was looking for. So now I want to know how it looks like actually on a facade. So what do? I go to a different part of our system, which is a texture generator that will, based on your selection of the building material and the mortar and the dimensions of the product, will actually generate for you this nice piece of texture that you could use in your model. Or you can download it as a PDF, bring it to your partner and say, look, what I want is this facing brick. I have this product information here. I know where to order it. I know how it looks like. I know what the format is. And there is this texture generator ID, so I can use it in my model if needed. Yeah? And then voila, this is the facade from the facing brick. Happy, yeah? But then, as an architect, I am asked to use this facing brick in my model. And I also need to understand all the technical details that are linked to this product, meaning that what I have to do is to understand the various formats you can see up there. You can see related products, and voila, here is the building that I liked, which I want to build, which is the reference of this facing brick. So good, all good. So I go back and I go to the download section where I now want to download PDFs or Word documents with technical details. So what I have here is one PDF which we can generate out of the product data. We have also the way how you can actually build it, which is much helpful than for the builders than for you. But maybe you want to build it yourself, so it's good to know how to build it. Then we have also technical sheet, which again has to be translated to the language of the recipient. And that's it. Yeah, that's facing bricks. So now let's look at bricks or clay blocks, because what you see here is a clay block that is used to build a wall. You can see thin and thick one, and voila, we have here a nice pile of bricks. And we are the biggest producer of bricks in Europe. So we have a lot of piles of bricks in our warehouse. And then we sell it, and we need to have IDs for every single pallet that we ship. We need to have declaration of performance for every single batch. So it's a lot of data we need to process, not only from the producing perspective, but also the marketing and sales. So this is a product range of just one country producing clay blocks that are used to build your house. So on the top left corner, you can see that there is a little bit of dark, I would say dark ending. And this is protection against water. So that's another type of brick that you need to know when you build a house. This is the first level. Then we have also bricks for inner walls that have different characteristics, such as they are not really that thick, so that you can build a decent 16 centimeter wide wall between two bedrooms, but they are acoustic, so the noise is not coming from one bedroom to another. Then we have different kind of bricks. You have a lot of bricks, and for all these bricks you need to have product information, and all fine. But then, from product information perspective, Poroterm 50T is a product, but depending on whether you use mortar or dry fix, it has different characteristics. And for us, as a manufacturer, it's important to present information that is relevant to this combination. So we are not selling Poroterm 50T, we are selling Poroterm 50T plus the mortar or the dry fix. Therefore, we have different product properties based on what we have. Plus, if you put facing brick on the facade, then it has different product properties. You can see an example of the lambda value, thermoconductivity and thermal resistance and thermal transmittance, how it changes depending whether you are using classic mortar or Profi dry fix. Yeah? So, how does it relate everything what I just said with BIM? Because BIM is about building information management, it's about information. You need to have people that maintain the information, that uses the information. It's all about information management, but you need to also have technologies in place. You need to have technologies like this. You need to have Revit to draw it, or ArchiCAD, or SketchUp. You need to have data somewhere. The product data has to be available. It's either on your website or on some product library. So it gets complicated, but for us, we need to simplify. Yeah? We, as manufacturers, with single source of truth of our data in PIM, what we have to do is to make sure that all these systems are getting their correct data from correct systems to the right people. So what do? We asked for a plugin, a Wienerberger plugin, that every one of you can install either to ArchiCAD or Revit, and where you can see our product catalog handed to the project planners. So this is not about product information management, this is already about the information exchange between the manufacturer and the designer before the project gets created. So you say, I want to be able to create a house, to design a house from Poroterm T-Profi or Poroterm Eco-Profi. I want to be able to model inside my Revit or ArchiCAD or other tools. I want to be able to say that this layer is actually made of Poroterm Eco-Profi brick with mortar. So what I do, I go to our website, I download the plugin, I install the plugin, I select the building materials, I select the category, which is masonry in this case. There is a menu where you can see there are bricks in there. You select the actual brick you want to use, or you can filter the products based on the properties that are stored in PIM, such as width, or whether you can build a 2-story house, 5-story house, or what are the acoustics. Yeah? Everything is there. You can filter it, and then by clicking one button, you can insert it to a project that you are working on. You import it, and then you use it. You say, this is the layer actually made of Poroterm 30 AccuZ Profi Dry Fix P15 with thickness of 300 millimeters. You do that, this layer, and then you say, wait, but it's not only about my brick and the mortar. It's also about the plaster, the inner plaster and outside plaster. So what I need to do is to create a layer like this, where I can say, okay, so it will be Baumit from the inside, Baumit from the outside, and it will be Porotherm in the middle. So I can choose other bricks also, and it will calculate all the properties that have to be calculated. Because what we do with PIM is we store static data. Or if we want to change the data, we need to change them actively by a human. We don't calculate stuff in PIM because we want to control the staticness of our data. So then it means that when you install the plugin and you do the calculations, you can actually get the right calculations. Yeah. So then, what else? You have here a nice wall. You build yourself a nice wall, and you want to also make a ceiling. We even have products for ceilings. They look like this. They look like that. You can build it yourself. And there are a lot of people who are building houses themselves with consultancy with experts, but they can build it. And then you have your ceiling, which is another clay product. It's another product that we need to store in our PIM system. And what we also have are beams and lintels, but I will not go to that level of detail because just think about it more as another product category that we need to maintain in our PIM system. So now let's look at the roof tiles. Roof tiles is the first thing you see on a building. You don't usually see our clay blocks, you see more of facing bricks. So like if you go to a standard typical house, what you see first is a roof tile. So we have a lot of roof tiles and even more roof tiles and even more roof tiles. And these are all made of clay. But you know, we can also make roof tiles from concrete. So what you see here is a Porsche studio that creates magnificent designs, including a roof tile Porsche for Wienerberger. This guy, Christian Schwammkrug, is a design director of Studio FA Porsche, and what he did at his studio is that he designed for us Porsche design of a roof tile. So take a look at this nice design. It starts with a sketch. This is how the designer thinks. Then you get a product. The product is beautiful. You produce that product. And then you win a design competition. Because that's not the most, how to put it? You simply have to start producing them and dedicate your time so that all of these roof tiles are actually, they sound the same. So once you reach that, you have all these nice roof tiles you can put on your roof, and voila, that's the roof. And that's the house from it. But this is just one single product that you can order, which we need to maintain in our PIM system. Here is an example of another product, which is a photovoltaic roof tile, which has also the solar/photovoltaic product properties that are only relevant to products that have photovoltaic layer on it. And this is another product for us. It's another set of product properties that are specific to photovoltaic panels. But it's not only roof tiles. We also produce pavers. We can produce clay pavers. We can produce concrete pavers. Look at this, Vienna. If you've ever been to Vienna Hauptbahnhof, the main train station, you will see the products underneath your legs. Then you can also build streets with our products. or parking space for your car, or parking space for your cars, or parking space for the street. It's like you have really a lot of uses of our products. Now let's take a look at Pipelife. As I mentioned, Wienerberger, we have also Pipelife. Pipelife is our company, our brand of Wienerberger AG. You can see where it's all in Europe, evenly distributed. But with pipes, the product information are different. First of all, the level of detail that you are used to on a clay paver or clay brick is in millimeters, which is also the case for pipes, some of the pipes, some cables. But if you build a 10-kilometer long pipeline from one state to another, you also need to think about how do you store your product properties. Does your customer that is ordering 5 kilometers of pipeline cares about millimeters on the website? But does he also care about millimeter precision when you ship the product? That's different. So, as I mentioned, Pipelife is another company. It creates a lot of products. I'm not going to go through all of them because I know you can get easily tired in the digital realm to just listen to one person talking all the time. So let's just take a look at some of the products. Yeah, you can see that the water you are drinking at home could go through our pipes. The wastewater that goes from your home could also go through our pipes. Then we have stormwater system, meaning that when you have a lot of water, surge of rain, hailstorm, you have a lot of water on your property, you need to capture it and then gradually put it to the wastewater. Same with road drainage, where you don't want to have flooded roads. Then what we also produce are really long length HDPE pipes. And I can continue. But then, I think pictures are 4,000 words. This is just one of our many products. You can see that it's a small pipe. You can see another product that even have product properties written on it. So you can see that this one was actually produced on shift B on line 5. Yeah. Or you can have these kind of pipes. Or that kind of pipes. This is our head of sustainability. Because now sustainability is really important and we really need to think about, as a society, how to produce, use, reuse, recycle what we do. So, another product. It doesn't matter like how is it called for this presentation, but I can tell you that talking about diameter of this pipe is a nightmare for people who don't produce it. Because what is the actual diameter of this kind of pipe? Is it the outer diameter? Is it the inner diameter? Is it the connection from one pipe to another? And then it's not only about pipes and fittings. It's also about these manholes that are used for service and the drainage system. There are really a lot of products that are related to pipes. I don't personally even know how they are called because we have approximately 400 product types just for Pipelife. And here is a nice example of how many product properties you can actually collect on one single chamber. Where you say, okay, so if the cutting line is here, then we have this 100, and then here another 100, and then here is 197. I would expect it's 200. All right, so, but I'm not saying it should be 200. I would say that if this is 100 and that is 100, why there is 197. Everything has to be in the PIM system. Yeah? There is no way around it, because if you want to sell it, you need to know it. If you want to know it, you need to store it somewhere, so you can retrieve it when you need to know it, just right on time. And here is another kind of pipe, which is much bigger, and a human can just walk through it. But we are not limited to short pipes. We can also produce long pipes, such as this long-length AGPE pipe, which is our biggest marine project, set a world record that we towed it from Norway to Malaysia, 27,000 kilometers. Or what you can do is to build internet with our cables. Or you put the pipes in the cables, you put the cables into pipes and you have internet, yeah? So, now an example. As I mentioned, we have the product properties, we have the people who look after the product properties, we have actually humans responsible for the validity of product properties, we have experts that know what they are doing because they studied producing the products. They know what the property stands for. For me, as a product information manager, the person who is responsible for operating the IT system to run it, I cannot possibly understand 10,000 properties. This is why we need to not forget that every successful information system contains people, an organization, and management, not only the IT system that runs it. So I would like to focus now on just a short example of a technology that supports prefabrication of our preflex, also called spider concept. So these are the cables that you know from your home. These are the people who can then work at your home to connect the cables. But then, the shorter time people spend at your home, constructing your home, the longer you can live in your home and the cheaper it will be to actually buy it. So what do we do? As I mentioned before, we have a plugin that gets you the data. But what we also have is another kind of plugin that helps project designers to get data to us, which is this nice ePrefab tool for Revit. But what you can do is to make your model inside Revit and download our products and guess from where these products are coming from. Then you can draw your lines where the electric cables will go through, where are the boxes, everything, sockets, and then you upload the data, send it to us, and we will produce it. And we will not only produce it, but we will also ship it to you in a nice box, and then all you do is just get the boxes in the right sequence to the right places at your home. Now, I was talking about the digital world, where on the right side this is what you want, on the left side this is what you have to capture as a project designer. But then, as Wienerberger, we really focus on making people homes. We are not focusing on product data just for product data or PIM system just for PIM system. What we are doing is to have a conversation with people over coffee to actually help them design their home and then live in it. So what you can do is that you go to our website and you can configure your home from a predefined project. You want to say, I want to have there 4 kids, I want to have 2 parents, I want to have 1 smaller flat for my grandparent, I want to have it really cost efficient, but also comfort, I want to have certain number of bathrooms, etc. And then you want to build it. So first of all, you need to have a plan. You need to have a vision of where you want to live. But then on the other side, there is this part where the BIM part comes in, which is you also need to have a model of how you want to build it, what products should be, so that at the end, the construction side is becoming more digital. So then the construction worker can just check on a laptop what detail has to be adjusted, because there was some last minute change. Or you can use your iPad, yeah? Doesn't matter. Now, as I mentioned, we have roof tiles, we have pipes, we have sewage system, you have drainage, lot of things. So now, what you can do with our data about products is that you can combine them together and create smart solutions which allows the homeowners to manage how much from the rainwater should just go to drainage, how much should go to sprinklers or gardening, and how much should be stored. And the same with heat. You can get a very good house, but you can spend a lot of money on heating. So why not to combine what sun gives you to your roof, heat up your water, and use it. Yeah? So all that together combined makes a very good case for smart home application. Because what you can work with, you have your product data, you have product information, you have everything, you have the model. Now you have sun heat, you know how much sun heat causes how much evaporation on your garden. You know what is the soil moisture. You know how much watering it requires. So then only minimum can go to the water sewage. And last but not least, I would like to invite you to actually go to your bookstore and buy the book called PIM&BIM, Product and Building Information Management in the Digital Built Environment. Not because we wrote it as authors, but because the future is here. And for most of these technologies that are there, we really need you to have your data right, so that our data for our products can work with your data together and build this fancy Internet of Things solutions, or do these kind of processing of big data for predictive maintenance, because we need to collaborate in the digital environment. So last thought for you is, come to visit us and myself in Prague, in our digital hub, where I would really like to see you and talk about digitalization in the digital built environment, which is driven by actual product information, actual needs of customers. And then I'm ready for your questions. Thanks a lot for your attention. It was really a pleasure to be at the Pimcore Inspire conference 2021. I know it's remote. I know I'm working from comfort from my home. I hope you enjoyed this, I would say, mind-blowing variety of our products that you can actually use and you can live in. And I hope that knowing that there is a manufacturer that cares about product information will make more manufacturers to care about their product information, and we can then all work in digital environment working with our products. So once again, thank you very much for your time, and looking forward for you contacting me on LinkedIn, arranging a meetup in Prague, talk about digitalization. Thanks a lot.